Relations said the move is aimed at making the nation's vast land assets more economically viable and unlocking the over $300 billion in debt capital tied up in such undocumented land. The disclosures were the outcome of a courtesy call on the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Musa Dangiwa, by a delegation of the World Bank led by its Vice President, Guazin Chen, in Abuja. NEMA spokesman Manzo Ezekiel told newsmen on Wednesday that the death toll had hit 30 and displaced persons close to 500,000. According to NEMA, more than 23,000 households have been hit by the rapid rise of waters following the weekend rupture of the Alau Dam on the Ingada River, 20 kilometers south of Maiduguri. Now, the Renovation Development Initiative (RDI) has linked the collapse of the Alau Dam in Borno and the inundation of farmlands and hundreds of homes in Maiduguri to a disconnect among the coordinating emergency response agencies of government at federal and state levels. In a statement, Executive Director of RDI said the collapse of the dam was avoidable, adding that the incident represents failure in governance at all levels since the flood had hitherto been predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency. Yet, no concrete preemptive action on flood management plan was put in place to safeguard life and property. The RDI boss pointed out that someone or some people must be held to account for the failure in acting to prevent the collapse of the dam and the monumental losses that the state has recorded and would incur in the days ahead. And on the foreign scene, the UK housing market surprised everyone in August with a price rise, the first since late 2022. The Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors reported that the house price balance surged to a positive 1 in August from negative 18 in July against forecasts of negative 14. This is the first positive shift since October 2022. Surveyors are upbeat, expecting sales growth to continue. Buyer interest is also up, with new inquiries hitting heights not seen since October 2021. However, the picture is mixed. Halifax shows annual growth in house prices, but nationwide recorded a slight 0.2% drop in August. Affordability remains a hurdle, particularly in the rental market, despite lower borrowing costs. The RICS survey showed a jump in buyer interest, with new inquiries rising to a net balance of positive 15 in August from positive 4 in July. This suggests the UK housing market might be on the upswing, making it a key area for investors. The demolition phase has begun for the $36.5 billion of renovations for Dawson and Allen Residence Halls, the current home of Ballas Lead LLC. Dawson and Allen Halls, which opened in 1954, will be closed all year with an expected completion date of July 2026. Similar to the 2024 renovation of the Honors Residential College, the project will update the dorm rooms and common areas, as well as create a new connecting space between the two buildings for shared use. Residents have been relocated to North Village since Ballas' renovation plan for 10 residence hall began in 2013. North Village has frequently served in these transitory capacities, said Tiffany Lowy, Director of Campus Living and Learning. More stories and Housing TV News at the top of the hour. I am Phoebe Onwabuije. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.